For how long?
It's been 5 years.
And you were in party plan for 10 years prior to It Works, weren't you?
Actually, since I've been 18, I've done party plan.
Well, you're only 28, so that's 10 years.
There you go. I love you.
So we thought, who better to get up here and dissect a party than a party queen? You came from the party direct sales background. Obviously, this is a little different, network marketing, so we're still partying and we're still getting in people's homes. But how is this different than what you were doing before, and why? I just want them to hear a little bit about your story before we get started on this panel.
Well, how it's different is, number one, you don't have to carry stock. You don't have a huge investment. And I never knew. I was in party plan for, since I've been 18, I've always dabbled in something, but my last business was for 10 years. And so the one thing is that I didn't even know what residual income was. I didn't get it. And when Cammie asked me that, one key question is, what if you didn't do parties? And if you really think about that, I sat there and I was like, whoa, I'll always do parties. But the big thing is that I would have not had an income. So my quota to get paid on my downline was $3,500 every single month. Because every time I went up a level, I had to order more. So whether I was selling it or not, I had to order that much product.
And ours is $80, no matter how high up you travel. Whether you're a distributor, whether you're an ambassador, whether you're a Black Diamond, it's $80 a month. And that's how you maintain that level. And I think that's huge to not have to carry that inventory. Now, we do carry some inventory, don't we? The wrap shortage happened last year, and we were all freaking out because we didn't have the wraps to put on people, but you don't have to. And the problem is you're going to have a hard time keeping it in stock. So I know you got to bring a special guest with you to your panel today, so tell us who you chose and why.
This is Miss Amy Davenport.
And you're from Midland, right?
I'm from Troy.
Troy. You guys are all moving around on me.
So the reason I invited Amy was because she is a party queen too. We did the business together, and when she called me to get into this business, I was like absolutely delighted. So I just thought she was the perfect person for the parties panel.
Okay, so we're going to break down what you just saw with Tiffany for when you're doing this in your home, and they've got some props here to show you. Not a lot, because everything is so simple. And I do want you to keep in mind today, as you hear a background of somebody, it's going to make someone come to your mind. Someone who's done party plan before. Somebody who is like the party queen of another company, or so on and so forth. And I want you to write their names down. Throughout today, you should leave with a good 25 new names on your hundreds list, because you're going to think of so many people that you should talk to after you hear these people today on stage. So, let's talk about, didn't we say we're going to talk about getting parties? Like, how do you get parties? I mean, how do you get parties? Where do you start?
Well, first of all, when you're wrapping somebody, you should automatically just be asking that person, you are going to want to continue to do these wraps and continue your results. So let's set up that next appointment in 3 days, and you get a few people and you're going to get a free wrap. So that's one way. That's the key way. If you don't have somebody that you're wrapping, you're going to want to look at Facebook. You're going to want to look at everywhere promoting. Call and ask. Ask for referrals. You got tons of family, and whether they're in the business or whether they're ordering product, still ask them for referrals. That's how the Kirby salespeople keep going, because they have tons of referrals to call. So I've even in my past business opened up a phone book and made calls. And that was a tough business.
Well, and that's the cold way of doing it. We also have a thing called a Blitz card. Do you book parties with your Blitz cards?
Absolutely.
Give us an example of that.
Absolutely. Always have your Blitz cards wherever you go. It doesn't matter where you're at, the grocery store, Big B Coffee, it doesn't matter. Have your cards with you. If you don't have cards with you, make sure you have a digital copy of the Blitz card on your phone. And then all you have to say is, hey, have you heard of that crazy wrap thing? This is what it looks like. And then flip it over. This is what it does. Do you know anybody who'd be interested in trying it? And, that's going to open up the lines of communication. They're going to start talking to you.
And that's when you say, well, good, you can get it for free with a wrap party, or you can use this coupon. And I know that's where I get the most. Or even on Facebook, when people know what I'm doing, and I'm like, listen, you can try one. We can meet for $25, or if you have a few friends, you can wrap free. And then kind of goes on from there. So let's talk about, you got a party booked. How do you get that host or hostess ready for that party. And again, this host or hostess may or may not be thinking about the business, right?
Well, my first thing is when I got a hostess and she's got a party booked, my very first question is, Cammie, have you ever thought about doing this as a business? My very first question. Get it out of the way. Well, are you looking to supplement your income? Because you never know until you ask. And if she says, well, I kind of thought about it, but I wanted to see how the party went. Perfect. Let me give you some information. Let me throw a call to you. And let's just make this first party your launch party. So when you're done with a party, you just look at that hostess and say, Cammie, this can all be yours or it can be mine. What's your choice? So what I mean by that is loyal customers, distributors, whoever you signed up. So turn that party into a launch party right away, but do it prior to the party. Coach her.
Worst case scenario, you sign her up the night of because she just still didn't get it until you were in her living room.
Right.
But I agree completely. And I think for those of you that have people interested in the business that keep telling you they don't have any money, tell them to get a rep party together. They can raise the money for their business. Where there's a will, there's a way. No excuses. And even if they don't live anywhere near you, pre-sell 4 reps. It's that simple. And if they can't do that, then they don't really want to do this business. They just know. I don't care what they say. And if they say they don't have the money, I'd like to see their credit card, and I'd like to see their checkbook invoice. Did you guys see my post on my fan page the other day? Putting a lie detector on those people that tell you don't have any money, and see that they've been spending money at Starbucks or at the bar or clothing or online or whatever the case might be. So, how about you? What are some tips you give for getting ready for a party?
If you want to have an amazing party, it's going to start with you and your excitement level. So be excited. You've got a party booked. You're going to share these amazing products with some new people who are going to make new friends. So it's really important ahead of time when you are getting, a week or so before the party, get in contact with your hostess. Tell her, we're going to have such a great time. It's going to be a blasty blast. I want you to partner with me, and we're going to create a lot of excitement on Facebook. Make sure if you're on Facebook, it's going to be a lot easier for you. Friend request your hostesses, create the excitement in the event. Tell her, if you want to have the best party ever, bounce your ideas off me, let's get excited, let's show your friends how much fun us crazy rep people have.
Okay, and so we're having a party, we're getting them ready. What are some methods you use to invite or teach them to invite? Because it really drives me crazy when my hostesses only do an event, even though I gave them blitz cards and I told them to make phone calls. You know what I mean? Because it's just, events aren't the only way.
Okay, I'm going to take that one because number one, you got your Facebook, but you got to have some personal invitations. Throw out a text message. Put a picture in there, your before and after. I love, if you start doing the invites for your hostess, I know it means a little bit more work, but I will promise you the attendance you will have will be substantial. It will.
And you can say things that the hostess is too nervous to say.
Exactly.
And she's not saying a handwritten invitation, folks, like in the mail. She's saying a text message. So ask your hostess or your new distributor for the phone numbers of the guests that she's inviting. And then guess what?
Yep.
When you say invite 20, and they only...
Absolutely. And so I'm going to ask her to send me 20 names and phone numbers. And then I'm going to make up the text message, send it to her, ask her if she's okay with that, and then I'm going to zip that text out. So basically what my text would look like is, hi, Susie is having a party on such and such a date, such a time, and she wants to invite you to a body rep party. Come check it out for $25, bring a friend, get $5 off. Look at these results. You won't believe them until you try it. So getting that excitement in a text message, having her follow up with some phone calls is going to be huge. And I will tell you, you can't depend on your hostesses. If they're just a hostess, and I don't want to say just, but if they're not just going to be a distributor that night, you can't depend on them for your paycheck. Take control of that. Send out those invites. It's huge.
Well, look at all those phone numbers you have now. Oh my gosh, what if they don't show up? You can
Exactly.
follow up and say, we missed you. The fortune is in the follow-up, right?
That's right.
And do you do that for your new distributors too? Sometimes they're just so nervous and trying to learn. And
Absolutely. Do whatever you got to take to get the people there, get them in front of you. So I just learned, because I got to have a sleepover with one of my dear friends last night, but she uses an app, and it's free, and it's called Red Stamp. And it's an invite. She makes up a cute little invite in this thing and sends it out. and I loved it. I thought it was huge.
Via text or via email?
Via text or email. Yeah.
I got all my new people sitting right over here in the front. They're like, Cammy didn't do that for me. I'm good. I'm going to start.
So you also could do the old-fashioned way by sending out an invite. I personally am not going to do that for my whole people, but if you want to get the hostess to let her send out some, you know, print her off some, give her some, let her hand them out at work, whatever you got to do to get the people there. And like Amy said, the key thing is the excitement. The more excitement you put into that party, the more excited she's going to be and the more excited her people are going to be. Give her the words of what to say also. It tightens, it tones, it firms. Just gotta come try it. It's crazy. So, I love that.
Okay, so now let's move